Dear students, today we will discuss the molar refraction and the molecular structure. Okay, before going to this molar refraction, we have to know that what is the meaning of the refraction. Okay, suppose a beam of light. Okay, this is suppose beam of light. Its direction is it moves from the rare medium or the air medium to the denser medium. Okay, rare medium to the denser medium. Denser medium of any medium, that is liquids or the solids, okay, glass solids or the denser medium. Then there is a bending of the rays takes place. That is, bending of rays takes place is a refraction. Okay, that means the refraction of rays takes place. If you draw a normal, okay, normal means a line draw to these two rays. Through this line, we consider the angle of incidence. Incidence, that rays or beam of rays is incident on this denser medium. That is a angle of incident. Okay, that I is called as the angle of incidence. Now the rays are bent, and that bent is called as the refraction. Therefore, this angle we have considered as the angle of refraction. Okay. In this case, this refraction is depends upon temperature and wavelength. Okay, that is lambda. Wavelength we can show like that, the lambda and the temperature. This quantity is depends upon the temperature and the lambda. That is, the refraction is depends upon the temperature and the lambda. Okay, then the Snell's law. There is one law is there, that is Snell's law is given as sin I and sin R. Okay, sine angle of incidence divided by sine angle of refraction. Okay, the Snell's law, that is equal to n, and that n is nothing but the refractive index. And this refractive index is a characteristic for liquids. Characteristics for liquid means like that boiling points and the melting points particular. If suppose benzoic acid is there, benzoic acid melts at the 120 degrees Celsius or 22 degrees Celsius. That is it's constant. Okay, melting point for the benzoic acid is a constant. Okay, therefore the melting points or the boiling points are the characteristics of for a particular liquid or solids. At that temperature they boils, or at that particular temperature they melts. That is the characteristics properties of that particular substances. Therefore, refractive index for any substance is also characteristics for the liquids or the solids. Okay, therefore it not change for a particular temperature and for a particular wavelength. The refractive index remains constant for a substance, whether it is liquid substance or the solid, so it remains constant, and it is a characteristics property for liquids or the substances, that is refractive index. Okay, Now, refractive index is seen that it is depends upon the wavelength and the temperature. The scientists Lorentz gives one equation which is not depends upon temperature and the wavelength, and that formula is also a very useful formula that is given by these scientists. That is that formula is shown as, that is specific refraction. That formula is called as the specific refraction, and here stand for the specific and R for the refraction is given as n square minus 1 n square plus 2 and 1 upon density. Okay, Lorentz give the equation. That is, in this equation there is a relation between density, D stand for the density, and density have the formula mass, molar mass upon molar volume is nothing but the density. Okay, the density is given by that formula. Okay, Lorentz gives the formula. In this formula, he gives the relation between density and our refractive index, and that formula, that is the specific refraction, that is called as the specific refraction, and the formula is represented like that. Then next quantity is the molar refraction. Okay, this is our specific refraction. RS is nothing but the specific refraction. Okay, in this formula we modified this formula, then we will obtain the molar refraction. Okay, therefore M stand for the molar and R stand for the refraction. Therefore, new formula we obtain n square minus 1 upon n square plus 2. This is the new formula. And into molar mass upon density, only we included the molar mass. Okay, molecular weight in grams. Molar mass means what? Molecular weight in grams. Okay, that M is we introduced, that is the molar mass. Okay, we have seen that the density is nothing but the molar mass upon molar volume. Okay, therefore density is therefore the molar volume. Okay, this quantity will transfer to this side and density transfer at the place of molar volume. Therefore, molar volume is equal to molar mass upon density. And molar volume we can represent it by delta. Vm is equal to molar mass is the M and density is denoted by the D. Therefore, this quantity we can replace by the molar mass, because M upon D is nothing but the Vm, and that is nothing but the molar mass. Therefore, Rm is equal to n square minus 1 upon n square plus 2. That is this quantity we have replaced, that is the Vm, that is the molar mass. Okay, two equation we have seen. First is Rs is equal to n square minus 1 n square plus 2 1 upon D. Then Rm, that is molar refraction, is equal to n square minus 1 n square plus 2. Only we have mass upon the density. Okay, molar mass upon density we have taken, and it is we have converted this Rm by replacing M upon D, n square minus 1 upon n square plus 2, that is the molar volume. Okay, M upon D quantity we have changed into molar volume, that is a Vm. Okay, these two quantity we will have to use to find out the structure. Okay, in the investigation of the molecular structure, we can use these quantities, that is molar refraction, we can use. Now we will study how the molar refraction will be useful for the find out the structure. Okay, molar refraction. Molar refraction is a property is partly additive and partly constitutive. Okay, additive and constitutive is depends upon the structural arrangement. And additive property means, suppose the molecular weight is additive property. Okay, for the explaining what is the additive property, we have taken an example. If molecular weight is additive property, it means, if suppose we have the example CH4, how we find out the molecular weight of CH4? We can find out by addition of molecular weight of carbon is the 12, molecular weight of 4 hydrogen is the 4, therefore its molecular weight is the 16. Therefore molecular weight is the additive property, as like the molar refraction is also additive property. Each addition of atoms in molecule or a group in a molecule will use the molar refraction. Okay, the particular value you will obtain. If suppose we have the example, that is one of the ketone is there, CH3 and CO C2H5. Number of carbons in this example is the C3, H is the 8 and oxygen is the 1. Okay, therefore each atom in a molecule constitute a value of molar refraction, and that is nothing but the atomic refractive equivalent. For each atom there is a molar refraction, that is the atomic refractive equivalent. Suppose for hydrogen it is having the molar refraction is equal to 1.10, for the carbon 2.4, 1.8, carbonyl oxygen is 2.2, 1.1, as like chlorine, bromine, iodine has the specific value of molar refraction. Okay, by the addition of this all the atomic refractive equivalent, we can find out the Rm value for this molecule. Therefore, for this molecule, by the experimentally, okay, by using the some machines, we can find out the molar refraction is observed is equal to 20.674. Okay, observed way. And by the addition of atomic refractive equivalent, we can also find out the Rm values, and these Rm values is nothing but the calculated Rm value, and observe is by experimentally we can find out the Rm values, and by the calculation theoretically we also find out the Rm values. Okay, for this case we have 3 carbon is there, therefore 3 carbon, for each carbon there is a 2.418 into 3, okay, plus for hydrogen, for each hydrogen 1.100 into 8, plus oxygen. Okay, oxygen is the carbonyl oxygen, therefore we have to choose the more atomic refractive equivalent is equal to 2.2. Okay, like that by calculating this 3 5 then 12 or this okay. If you summate this, you can okay, after summation you will obtain the theoretical or RM calculated. Okay, theoretical or RM calculated. Okay, 18.265. Okay, for this we have therefore these values, and this is the there is a they are somehow these values is matched with these values. Okay, in this case we have the three okay, sorry, we misses the one carbon. Okay, see, that is a C3 is there. Okay, another 4 carbon, 1 2 3 4 carbon is there. Therefore fourth we have to also add 2.418. then you find that, then that is 3 8 6 and 20. Okay, this is match with this. Okay, this value and this is the match with each other. Therefore by addition of the atomic refractive equivalent we can also find out the theoretically value of RM or calculated value of RM we can find out. Okay, therefore it is an additive properties. Okay, for the explaining again additive properties we have a homologous series. Okay, homologous series, that is a homologous series. Homologous series means the each time we have added the CH2 group. Okay, CH2OH, after that when you add the CH2, then CH2 CH3OH, and we add the again CH2 C3H7OH. Okay, as you add the CH2 the values of RM get increases. Okay, and for CH2 RM value is a particular RM value is there. If suppose X RM value is there, each time you add the CH2 group in the homologous ring, which also there is X value is common for each time. Therefore X should be remains constant. X remains constant when each addition of CH2. Okay, for example we have first methyl alcohol. You found that RM value is 8.218, and you add the again CH2, that is homologous series is there. Okay, each time you add the particular group, smallest group you add, you get the homologous ring. Into CH3OH, when you add the CH2, then it's your the CH2OH. When you add again CH2, okay, small CH2 is added. When you add again, okay, like that again adding and adding, you can obtain its homologous series. Okay, and we have measured the RM values for the homologous series. Each time you found that CH2, extra CH2 we have added. Okay, in first case we added the 1 CH2, second you add the 2 CH2 is added, in third 3 CH2 is added. Okay, at each time you found that when you get the difference between these two, okay, for first from 12.739 minus 8.218, you found that it is the difference between 2 is the 2.42. The difference between 3 and 2 is the 4.676. Okay, the difference between fourth and the 3 is the 4.615. The difference between the fifth and the 4 is the 4.614. Okay, each time you found that there is a constant increase in the RM values takes place. Okay, same increase you found there. Each time there is the same increase in RM value is takes place. Okay, by this way we can explain that it is an additive properties. Molar refraction is an additive properties. Okay, by this way we can explain it is an additive property. Each time in this case you add the CH2, the constant increase in Rm takes place. Okay, therefore no much difference is there. Therefore same increase in the Rm values takes place each addition of the CH2. That's why the molar refraction is a additive property. Okay, now we are next we explain the molar refraction is the constitutive property. Constitutive property means it depends upon the structure or arrangement of atoms in a molecule. That is a constitutive property. If structure is changed, then its Rm value is changed. If suppose we have the example of allylic alcohol, okay, that is allylic alcohol is the CH2 double bond CH and the CH2 OH. Okay, the carbon next to the double bond is the allylic carbon. Remember, allylic carbon, and that is allylic alcohol. That is called as the allylic alcohol. And second is CH3, CH2 and CHO. Okay, in this case you found that its formula is same. Okay, in this case C3, hydrogen is 2, 4, 5, 6, H6, and oxygen is the 1. In this case also we have 3 carbons, hydrogen is the 6 and oxygen is the 1. But you found that in first case the structural arrangement is different. In first case there is a alcoholic OH group and double bond is there. In this case it is having the carbonyl oxygen is there and no C double bonds is you found in this case. You found that if you each time addition, you found that when you add the OH group, okay, you can add the C3 this value 3 times, and then okay, theoretically you try to find out the value Rm value 6 times you add this, and you have to add the oxygen. Which is oxygen? You have to add the hydroxy. Okay, that is a hydroxy oxygen. You have to add the 1.522. But in this case, all you add the same C3, same H6 is the same, but the carbonyl functionality, for the carbonyl functionality, your value will be changed. Therefore, in this case, you found that the observed value for this compound is different. Okay, for all, though its formula is same, but observed value is different. Therefore, the molar refraction is also the partly constitutive property. It depends upon the structure of the molecule. If the structure of the molecule is changed, okay, that is functionality. Okay, in this functionality of the molecule is changed. In this case, the aldehyde functionality. In this case, the your alkene functionality. Therefore, functionality or the arrangement of the molecules or structural arrangement of the molecule is changed. Then molar refraction values is changed, though which it is having the same molecular formula, but Rm value is different. That is Rm property is also the property that is it depends upon the constitutive property, and that's why the value is changed for these two cases. Now the Rm value is also depends upon number of double bonds. Okay, more than double bond is there. The Rm value is depends upon the nature of double bonds. Okay, whether it is unsaturated, whether it is the conjugated double bonds or it is unconjugated double bonds. If the molecule having the conjugated double bonds, then Rm value is the increases. Okay, suppose we have the example, this example is there, and both these two molecules have the same molecular formula. When you calculate, it is having the same molecular formula, but when you calculate this theoretically by using this all these atomic refractive equivalent, you found that its calculated value 28.78 is exactly matched with Rm observed 28.78. In this case, two double bond is there. Okay, in this molecule it is having also two double bond is there, but when you consider the second molecule, you found that there is a unsaturation is present and conjugated. Conjugate means the alternative double bond. Okay, like that double bond is there, that is a single bond alternative double bond, single bond double bond. It is nothing but the conjugation. Okay, therefore in this molecule there is a conjugation is there, therefore calculated value of this molecule, which is 28.78. okay, that is the Rm calculated, and Rm observed means by using the experimentally Rm observed is the 29.87. it means there is the enhance of the molar refraction takes place when there is a conjugation is observed. Therefore in this case you found that the double bond affects the molar refraction, it depends upon the position of double bonds. Okay, remember that double bond is affect the molar refraction, and it depends upon the whether there is a conjugation is there. Okay, position of double bonds, Rm is depends molar refraction value is depends upon the is there conjugation or conjugation is absent. If there is a conjugation is there, then molar value is increased than the calculated one. Okay, from the calculated molar value, refraction observed is increased, that is 29.87. that is called as the optical excitation. Okay, Rm value increases due to the conjugated double bonds. Okay, alternative double bond is if present in the molecule, then you can found that there is the observed molar refraction is increased than the calculated molar refraction, and this property is called as the optical excitation. Okay, that is optical excitation is nothing but the increase in molar refraction values due to conjugation present in a molecule. When you compare these two molecules, where the first molecule there is no conjugation, no alternative double bond. First bond is present at this position, second bond is present at second bond. There are the three single bond in between them. Conjugation is not present there. Therefore, molar refraction value for this molecule is exactly matched with the molar refraction value observed values of molar refraction. But in second case there is the alternative double bond is there, therefore calculated Rm values is not matched with the observed molar refraction value. Therefore, due to conjugation, molar refraction values get increased. That is nothing but the optical excitation. Okay, now, okay, like that way, if there is a conjugation is there, you can by calculating this value, and by calculating the observed Rm, if difference is higher, then you can say that there is a conjugation should be present. Okay, like that way we have explained the molar refraction. Okay, we have the formula for the molar refraction is equal to Rm is equal to n square minus 1 upon n square plus 2 m upon d. Okay, this formula is applicable for liquids and gases. Okay, by using the, okay, it's easily you can find out the by using this formula. But for the solids, you have to mix the solids with a solvent. Okay, that is, solid is considered as the solute, and you add into solvent, and the solution is obtained, and then you measure its molar refraction. Okay, if supposed to measure the molar refraction of the solids, then we can take the RM values first and second. That is, first is the for solid, second is the for the solvent. Therefore n square minus 1. Okay, for this solid case we have to replace the mass is equal to n1 into m1 plus n2 into m2. Okay, n1 is the okay, m1 is the molar volume. Okay, molar volume of the solute, and molar mass of solute, and m2 is the molar mass of solvent. Okay, the mole fraction, n1 is the mole fraction for solute. Okay, n1 is for solvent, remember, for solvent. Okay, in this case also m1 is the for solvent, and m2 is the for the solute. Okay, molar fraction of solvent is n1, and molar fraction of solvent. Okay, this is the values. n2 is the molar fraction of the solvent, and the n1 is the molar fraction of the solute. Okay, n1 is the molar. Okay, this is for the solute. n2 is the molar fraction of solute, and n1 is the molar fraction of solvent. m1 is the molar mass of the solvent, and m2 is the molar mass of the solute. Okay, like that we can takes the values, and we can replace the m by this value. Therefore n1 m1 plus n2 m2 upon the density. Okay, molar, that is molar mass is always given by the number of moles of solute. Okay, for the solvent, n1 is the for the solvent upon number of moles of total moles of solution. Okay, for the solute, number of moles of solute upon number of total number of moles of solution. Okay, by that way we can find out the n1 and n2. Okay, n1 is the for the solvent, number of moles of solvent upon total number of moles of solution. Okay, so that the divided is the same both the cases, number of moles of solution, number of moles. But for the solute, for the solvent, number of moles of solvent upon number of moles of solute. Okay, in this case we have to find out the refractive molar refraction for the solids. Okay, therefore by expanding this you can obtain n square minus 1 upon n square plus 2 into n1 m1 upon d plus n square minus 1 n square plus 2 n2 m2 and d. Okay, therefore this value we have the familiar. Okay, this value we have familiar. Okay, this value we are the familiar values. Okay, that is n square minus 1 upon n square plus 2 into m1 upon d is nothing but the molar refraction. Okay, therefore R for the, this is for the 1. Okay, in n1 plus for this R2 n2. Okay, like that we have to find. Okay, that's n square minus 1 n square plus 2 m1 upon d is nothing but our molar refraction. R1 into N1 plus R2 N2. Okay, therefore we can find out the R2 for the solid. Okay, that is molar refraction. R1 is the for the solvent and R2 is the for the solid. Okay, that is R1 total refraction for the solution. Therefore R12, that is minus, this quantity will be minus R1 N1. Okay, this will transfer to this side. R1, that is a plus, that is minus 1, is equal to R2 N2. Therefore R2, that is the molar refraction of solid, is equal to R12 minus R1 N1 upon the N2. Okay, by the knowing these all these quantities, you can find out the molar refraction for a solid, that is solute, when you dissolve in the any solvent which we have known its molar refraction. Okay, that solvent, suppose we take the water, and if you want to find out the molar refraction of the NaCl, you add the NaCl in water. We have known the waters, that is R1 values of water we know. Then by calculating the how many substance we added, that is N1 you added, N2 is added, you can find out the number of grams. By using number of grams you can find N1, N2. And for the solution R1 and 1, 2 we can calculate it easily. And by this formula you can calculate the molar refraction for the solute which you have added in the solvent. Therefore this formula is used for the liquids and gases, and for the solid substances you have used the another type of formula. We have derived this formula like that. Okay, therefore R2 can be calculated by using this formula. I hope you get all this idea about the molar refraction, how the molar refraction is useful for finding out the structure, and what is the meaning of optical excitation, how the molar refraction is the additive property and the constitutive property we have seen in this lecture. I hope you all have get this idea. Thank you very much.